First, you silence the policeman in your head, then you face the policeman in the streets. In early 2011, the Middle East was electrified by an indigenous democratic fervor, not the cynical imported kind that exploited the slogans of democracy to cloak military coups and foreign interventions. Ordinary men and women unlearned fear. Their demands, powerful in their simplicity, ricocheted from Tunisia to Egypt, Libya, Bahrain, and Yemen. Dignity, freedom, bread. They didn't call it a spring. This was a new revolutionary pan-Arabism, born of shared humiliation and frustration, spread by the tools of social media and satellite television. In Syria, it began timidly, with small public gatherings in solidarity with protesters elsewhere, such as the one on February 23, 2011, in front of the Libyan embassy in Damascus, and the detention in the southern city of Daraa of a group of teenagers accused of writing anti-regime graffiti on school walls. Protesters were banned in Syria under an emergency law in place since 1963, as long as the ruling Ba'ath Party. News of the vigil on February 23rd spread through word of mouth and Facebook, the social platform recently unblocked by the government to better monitor calls for dissent, many suspected. The plainclothes, not-so-secret police, or mukhabbarat, arrived more than 40 minutes before the scheduled 5 p.m. start, followed by black-clad policemen carrying Kalashnikovs. Anti-riot police in olive-green uniforms and black helmets, transparent face shields at the ready, blocked both ends of the narrow tree-lined street housing the Libyan embassy. They wielded worn truncheons, the stumpy ends flayed of the black skin that still covered their handles. There'd been a small, peaceful vigil in the same place the night before, but this night would be different. Egypt's Hosni Mubarak had resigned 2 weeks earlier. Tunisia's Zain al-Abidine Ben Ali had fled in mid-January, and Libyan opposition fighters had just seized control of chunks of the east of their country. In Damascus, President Bashar al-Assad gloated over the fall of his much older counterparts. This was the fate of leaders who didn't listen to their people, he said. Syria was different, he added, largely because of its foreign policy, because Assad's rhetorical hostility to Israel and the hegemony of the United States, his support for Palestinians and the militant groups Hamas and the Lebanese Hezbollah were in line with perceived popular Syrian sentiment. Assad was 45, his carefully crafted image that of the everyman. He was the husband who casually dined in Damascene restaurants with his glamorous wife, Asma. The father who strolled through a souk with his children. The reformer who introduced the internet to the general public in 2000, the same year he ascended to power after the death of his father and predecessor, Hafez al-Assad. Bashar al-Assad was the young leader with plans for change, hamstrung by his father's old guard and regional crises. He just needed time, or so the popular narrative went. In a region where power is measured in generations, by 2011, Bashar had only been president for 11 years, and he had proven his resilience. He'd outlasted American neoconservative threats of regime change. He'd overcome global isolation after the 2005 murder of former Lebanese Premier Rafik Hariri, widely blamed on Damascus and its Lebanese ally, Hezbollah. He mitigated the effects of U.S. sanctions and the Iraq war next door, while strengthening Syria's long-standing ties to Iran. Like his father, Bashar al-Assad knew how to play the waiting game of Middle East politics. He waited until his enemies, foreign and local, were voted out of office, died or were killed, or realized